Today's guest conversation is with the back flippin' electric lefty wearing number 99 for the Kansas State Wildcats, Mr. JJ Slack. Here's episode 48 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Mr. JJ Slack, good Monday afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Hey, what does the JJ stand for?
It's a secret. I'm just kidding. So my real name is Joe Jr.
Joe Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad's name is Joe, so they adopted the JJ. So.
Shout out to Big Joe.
Yeah.
Is he still in Liberty, Texas?
Yep. Both my parents. My mom's the principal at my high school. My dad runs the transportation department. They're both coaches. My mom's the head softball coach, and my dad's her assistant coach. So
no way.
Yeah.
Does she yell at him if he bones up like coaching first or something?
Oh, yeah. He gets yelled at for sending girls to second base when they should be standing first all the time.
That's the greatest thing I've heard in a week. Oh, yeah. That's awesome, man. So your dad's name is Joe and your mom's name is what?
Karen.
Hey, got Joe and Karen. You have a cool son. And hey, I'll start with this, JJ. I met you at Frisco. You guys were playing on Friday against LSU, and just so you know, my boys, dude, they love you, and I think they caught one of your back flips last year. They're like, who's that dude? So the younger generation, my friend, I want to say thank you for being so gracious for those you guys listen to JJ Slack on the Baseball Forward podcast. Hey man, he's signing autographs, talking to the kids, smiling, shaking hands. He's a man of the people. So with that said, JJ, I'm gonna bring these boys in real quick. I'm gonna let them ask you each a question, then you and I are gonna roll into it. Okay?
Sounds good. Let's go.
Let's go, boys. Hey, JJ, this is Ryder. Ryder, get in the frame, and then this is Kaiser. So you guys, let's start off. Say hi to him, guys.
What's up, fellas?
Hey man, I just thought it would be cool because I know you get this. It's cool having little kids look up to you, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It is awesome, man. So let's do this. Who wants to ask? Ryder, you ask the first question to Mr. JJ Slack. What's your question for Mr. JJ?
Okay. My first question for you is, how do you increase your fastball velocity?
How do I increase? That's actually a good question. So for me personally, it's all about the weight room. And I love the weight room. So I fell in love with the weight room through football. So I played football through my 4 years at Southwestern.
Yep.
And so I fell in love with the weight room, and the stronger you get, the more weight you can move, the faster you can throw a ball. Now, with that being said, you got to stay athletic. You can't just become a Hulk and be as strong as you can, because you got to be able to stay athletic. So it's a good.
Do you do a ton of like jobs, crossover symmetry, armbands? Like, what is your daily routine with that?
So I do a lot of bands, like, to get my shoulder work. Like, I make sure my shoulder is my stable point. I make sure that's healthy and strong at all times. I've started to lean away from throwing plyos just for whatever reason. I don't know why, but like I throw them. I'm not, looking to get anything out of them. Just kind of getting myself warm other than that. But for me, it's like throwing the football. That's my favorite thing to do, is a warm up. I throw the football every day. And just throwing the football as far as possible. We'll play one-on-one games, just running routes against each other, just trying to stay athletic as possible. And so
I love hearing that, JJ. I'll give it to Kai. I don't know which way is which. Do you play a lot of long toss? What's the regimen with long toss?
So I used to play long toss every single day.
Okay.
And that was like when I was starting. I knew I was starting every day. Like every week I was going to start this day. I'm going to long toss 4 times a week, kind of thing.
Yep.
More as a reliever. So like last year, my catch play partner was Tyson Neighbors.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, you have fun guessing how hard it is to catch that guy.
Yeah.
But
fun.
We threw the same exact every day. It was, we warmed up, got out to about 120 feet, threw our changeups, off speed, whatever we need to throw, and it was throwing as hard as you can for the entire time. Because that's what when we were in the game, that's what we were going to do. That's what our 2 roles were. Was we're going to come in 2 to 3 innings. We're going to throw as hard as we can, as long as we can. So
That's gold. That's gold, baby. Let's go. All right, Ryder, say thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kaiser, your turn, man. Ask Mr. JJ a question.
What's the most exciting thing about being a college baseball player?
Ooh, that's tough because, like, for me, it's winning. But you can get that at every level, right? So, or doing anything, you got to win everything. So, but I'd say the most exciting thing is the guys.
Yeah.
Guys, like you develop friendships that are gonna go, and you'll never forget the guys you played baseball with. You'll never forget your teammates. You never forget your best friends that you meet along the way. And then, especially, you get a squad that's like last year's team was special. I'm gonna remember every one of those guys for the rest of my life. And I'd say the most exciting thing is the guys.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I want to ask this because it gives me goosebumps. We were watching on TV yesterday, and you closed out the game against William and Mary on Sunday, and I see this look like a crazed dog in your face, and I know that feeling, man. I want to know, what's it feel like when you're running out into the game and you know it's your game?
So for me personally, I have to get mad. I throw better mad, and if I'm not, it's kind of like a loosey goosey thing. Like I have to pretend like this is the Game 7 of the World Series every time.
Let's go
for me, and that mindset of I'm better than you no matter what. I mean, the guy in the box could be better than me, but in my head, I'm the best guy on the mound at all times. I'm the best guy on the field at all times, and you got to have a little bit of cockiness about it.
Yep.
But you also got you got to roll with the punches when that comes too. So whatever you dish out, you got to be able to bring. So if you're gonna be cocky, you got to be able to be humble about it too.
Ooh, boys. Hey, say thank you to Mr. Slack.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yep.
and it means the world to me as a dad that you sign autographs, you take time to talk to these guys. Kick rocks, boys. All right, close that door. JJ, I appreciate that, man. Hey, I want to elaborate that on though. Like I pay attention to the bullpen dynamics. I pay attention to kind of who go. That's what I was in pro ball and also as a starter, understand that situation. But as I was watching you warm up in Frisco and getting ready, it's like something clicks. So I want to know, for the audience out there that's listening, is there a moment in the game when you're like, hey, this might be my situation, or is it always predicated based on when they're calling down to the bullpen? How do you kind of know how to mentally get right?
So for me, I have to go one or two ways. I either have to be locked in from first pitch to last pitch, or I have to kind of like take breaks, or if it's an intense game, like games like when we played LSU, games when we played like Arkansas last year, like those kind of games, you're locked in, but like in between innings, you have to allow yourself to rest. Like,
ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't throw against Arkansas in our Fayetteville regional last year, and I left the game and I was so tired, and I didn't throw. And so it's kind of one of those things, like, to get in your head, like you can't be tense the entire time, especially somebody that's going to come in later in the game. Like you got to be able to relax, and then flip the switch.
Yeah.
Whatever your number's called. All right, flip the switch, get in attack mode. It's my game now.
Okay.
That's how I go about it. Is I try to stay relaxed the whole time. Kind of just talk with the guys, cheer on the guys, like watch the game, pay attention to what's going on, kind of thing. But like in between innings, I zone out for a second, and then when the play starts back, I'm back in. So like in my head, that's me on the mound. So like when I'm off the mound, I'm watching the guys hit or whatever, and that's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
So when it's time, when the number gets called, they're like, Slack, get hot.
Ooh.
Flip the switch. I'm in attack mode. I'm on the mound, kind of thing. So
I want to hear, talking with JJ Slack, Kansas State, number 99. This dude does backflips, and man, when I say electric earlier, man, I mean it. Like, it's fun to watch you because you got that edge on you. And you know what, as a dad, and that helps coach these guys, you try to teach them, like, and I don't know if you can teach stink in the neck. I can tell you got some stink, dude, and that matters so much at the level that you're at. So when I say stink in the neck, like you said earlier, cocky, confidence? Like, what's the right amount?
So you gotta be cocky, but you can't be arrogant.
Okay.
So growing up, I'm from a small town in Southeast Texas. Growing up, everybody knows everybody. You got your trash talk between your guys and everything, and that's honestly what built, like, kind of the competitor I am, is competing against my best friends every single day, no matter what we were doing. I'm gonna be honest, competing against my sister was the hardest thing I've ever had to do growing up.
Really?
And that's where I get that from. So my sister played softball at the University of Texas.
Heck
It's
yeah.
actually, yeah, she coaches softball now at Kansas, but so there's still that rivalry, right? She's
Yeah.
at KU and I'm at KU.
What's her name?
Caitlin.
Caitlin Slack. All right, she's at KU, man. Okay, so you competed against her. Like, when you competed against her, like, what were you guys doing?
It was whatever, basketball. We were playing football in the yard, baseball in the yard. No matter what we were doing, we had to stop playing board games but we were so competitive. But that's where I get that from, and that's where I was taught that in a young age. Like, and it was just kind of a product of my environment, kind of thing. And like, it was, you're either gonna compete or you ain't gonna play. So
Yep, that's right.
And me, I'm a smaller guy, and so everybody always expects, he's a smaller guy, so they kind of think less of you sometimes. So you got to have that edge on them. Like, okay, well, here's why I'm here. Here's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So that's where that comes from for me personally.
I love hearing that, man, and it's so integral. Like it matters so. Like, I had a twin brother, and I know, like, oh, you just want to kill each other, but it matters because you have someone to go out there and get the reps with, and you learn how to compete. You learn how to lose, right? So what's the biggest lesson? I'm not trying to make you cry, and Caitlin, if you listen to this, what's the biggest lesson you learned from your sister through competition?
That's okay. Honestly, her work ethic.
Yeah.
She had the best work ethic I've ever seen in a person.
Really?
And I was the complete opposite growing up. I was, I can just do it because I'm athletic enough, kind of thing. And so at that point, we were polar opposites. But like, she taught me how to work just watching her. And then as I got older, I kind of realized, okay, maybe she wasn't, crazy for always wanting to go do this, always wanting to go get reps.
That's right.
Her work ethic is second to none.
I love hearing that. It sounds like you have a close family. Is that right? Is it just you and Caitlin and then your parents?
So I have my parents and I have an older sister also. She's back. She's close to home. So. Okay.
And I checked it out before. I like to kind of do my research. I looked up Liberty, Texas. Shout out to Liberty, Texas. Liberty, Texas, JJ, I don't know if you know this, dude, is the third oldest city in the state of Texas.
Yep.
So you know what I'm thinking? Like, when Liberty was formed, I'm thinking like the Alamo days type stuff. Is that kind of what it is?
Yep, absolutely.
I love it, man. I love it. Talking with JJ Slack, the Kansas State lefty, on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Man, hey, as a Kansas State alum, man, I watch you guys. I'm proud, man. You guys are so much better than we ever were, and there's something special going on, and it's easy to see. I see the camaraderie between you and your boys, like the teammates. I see the attention to the coaches. You seem like you guys are special, and I'll tell whoever I think will listen is, man, I think the Kansas State Wildcats, I think you guys are a College World Series team this year, and I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but my eyeballs tell me there are dudes all over that field. There's going to be some guys that are going to be top probably 3-round picks at some point in their careers, some talented dudes. And then there are guys that just, everywhere you look, there are just fiery competitors and good athletes. So when I say that, dude, it's March 10th in Manhattan, Kansas. You're in the middle, you're in the heat of the season. What are things feeling like for you as a Kansas State baseball player?
They're feeling great. It feels different. I'll give you this. It does feel different. Even like last year, I keep going back to last year. We hate to do this, but like to all, kind of close the yearbook kind of thing. But even last year, we didn't have this. Like, we were really good last year, and we had dudes, like you said, dudes all over the field last year. And you knew we were really good. Everybody knew we were good, but like there was a little bit of doubt, I guess you could say.
Sure.
Not, but like we didn't really have the attention on us, I guess you could say.
Sure.
This year, it's like if you would have watched our first weekend of the season, it was nobody was gelling together kind of thing. It was pretty bad. We didn't look like we were playing Division I baseball. And then guys got together in the hotel meeting room, kind of one of those meetings.
Love it.
That everybody just let out what they needed to let out. And dude, we came together in that hotel room. We were in South Carolina, getting ready to travel to North Carolina the next day to go play against UNC. And we came together, and that team is what we're seeing now.
Yep.
And so it feels different. And Coach Hughes preaches every day, oh, it's an Omaha standard or nothing. And that's kind of how our team is built right now. Is everything we do is we're going to go to the World Series. Like,
yes,
that's what everything is towards. And every day during practice, our practice goals, our season goals, or everything are on the big screen. And number one on everything is win a national championship.
Ooh.
And that's that should be everybody's number one goal. If you're not trying to do that, you don't need to be here. And everybody in our roster, everybody in our clubhouse, from our trainers to our weight coaches to our managers, our managers are the best managers I've ever seen. We go somewhere, I don't see their team doing anything that our managers do. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
It's an Omaha standard everywhere around us in our clubhouse.
I love hearing that, JJ, and it's noticeable. So know this, objective evaluator, because there's no point in being lying about it. Like, it's a good team. It's a good team, and it's fun to watch. And so I'm excited to watch what you guys do through as you start Big 12 play. I think Utah this weekend. Is that right?
Yep. We go tomorrow. We go to Creighton, play in Omaha, and then we stay the night there, play against Omaha, come back to Manhattan, play Utah for the first Big 12 series.
Utah, man. I watched them play Pepperdine, the opening series of the year. You guys are going to be all right. So, talking with JJ Slack on the Baseball Forward podcast. JJ, because there's going to be a ton of kids out here listening to this, and they're going to end up becoming your fan, and they're going to be like, I want to be like this guy. And I want the kids, the young players listening to this, to get as much gold from you, because, man, you're living it. You're living it. It's not about like old guys saying, I did this, I did that. It's, dude, you're living it. So, like, I want from the horse's mouth. Like, when I say, you said you brought work ethic up, and I bring up leadership, and I'll say leadership and culture. And, like, I want, for you personally, I want to know how important it is for you to kind of have a routine, to be disciplined to getting your work in, to not cut corners at the position you're in.
So specifically for my position, it shows. As soon as if you're going to cut corners, you're not going to do everything the right way. It shows. And those are the guys, that arguably don't get the innings, right? Because, we get evaluated every single day at our program. Every single day we're getting evaluated. And that's why our lineups, our rotations, they could change like that. Like, if you go look at last year, if you go look at the first 20, 25 games, I didn't have innings. I had 2 appearances before the 3rd or 4th Big 12 series last year.
Really?
Yep. And then kind of went to work a little bit on some different mechanic stuff, and kind of found a groove that we liked, Coach D and Coach Hughes liked. And then I became an every weekend kind of reliever kind of thing. And so that preaches to all, like, the work ethic, staying in a routine, not losing focus just because I wasn't getting innings. I was doing everything I needed to do to get out there, just kind of buy my time kind of thing. But also preaches to our coaching staff. Like, they don't give up on guys. It's not, all right, well, here's our 8 guys they're going to throw every weekend from the first weekend to the last. It's every single day that thing can change like that. And I love that our coaches do that. Nobody gives up on anybody. So
that's amazing. So I want to expand on this, because that's gold when you said you're evaluated every day. Because holy cow, I just said that to our 10-year-old, these 10-year-old buttheads that were standing behind me earlier the other day. Is like, every practice matters, right? And you're building up trust. Like, the coaches see how you do anything is how you do everything. So specifically to your program, like, when you say you guys are getting evaluated, how do they make that clear to you? Well, they obviously say it, but, like, What are they evaluating?
It's like you said, how you do everything is how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
We get watched doing everything. The way we warm up, the way we walk on and off to the field, like jogging, anything. They watch everything, and they know what guys are doing the right things, even when people aren't watching. Because, like I said, it shows. The guys that I think that's what's good about our program right now. It's everybody pushes everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of who we are right now.
Yep.
So we do a good job of like nobody's cutting corners. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, but also that comes with culture, and culture starts at the top, which Coach Hughes has embedded a culture that is second to none in my opinion. I couldn't picture playing anywhere else.
Wow.
And so like we get evaluated every single day, and it's never stopping until season's over. I'm telling you right now, like Tyrell last year, one of our weekend starters, kind of gets hurt, comes back, wasn't all the way who he was before, and continue to work, continue to put in the hours, continue to put in bullpens, everything he needed to do, and started the game 3 of a regional against SEMO to push us to super regionals. So like I said, it doesn't stop all season. Doesn't matter what happens in the beginning, doesn't matter what's happening now, doesn't matter what happens in the future. So
I love it. Talking with JJ Slack on the Baseball Forward podcast today. Kansas State Wildcats, man. You guys are going to Creighton tomorrow. That's about a 3-hour drive up to Omaha. Are you guys playing it at the big park?
Yep. I just got told today that I'm starting it. So
let's go, JJ. Dude, I feel, hey, you better get to sleep early tonight, young man.
Absolutely.
Hey, what time does the bus leave?
We load the bus at 12:15.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving Stadium at probably about 12:30.
All right. So that's fun. Let's talk about that. You're starting tomorrow. You're up in Creighton's a good program, big old stadium, awesome stage. You get told that you're starting. What's kind of your mindset? Like when you're on the bus, you're probably not going to be playing cards or anything. What will you be doing on the way up to Omaha tomorrow?
I'm the biggest goof, especially if I know I'm throwing.
Really?
I have to for me it's I don't think about anything until it's time for me to start. Like I said earlier, like going for preparation, like you got to be able to zone out a little bit so you're not in a constant state of just
yeah.
Kind of thing. So for me on the way there, we're playing games with each other on the bus. We're playing, if there's cards, we'll play cards. We're playing games on our phone, listening to music, kind of thing. But then kind of bus rolls into the parking lot. You see the stadium. Okay. Everybody turns that switch on, kind of thing. For me personally, that's me. Especially like when we're doing BP and stuff, I'm chatting it up with the guys. Like I'm not acting like it's a different day just because I'm starting. I'm in my head, it's the same as the appearance at the bullpen. I have to keep it that way. So
I like that, man. You have a very level head, and for the guys listening, the people listening to this podcast, JJ played football at Southwestern in Georgetown, right? Yeah, Southwestern, really good Division III school. Played football and baseball there. Were you the quarterback?
I was a quarterback.
This freaking guy was a quarterback. I was going through that stuff. So what I'm wanting to know, because you got 23, 22, 23, you have a level head that seems very intentional to me. So where does that level-headedness come from? Is it intentional? Like, do you work on mental preparation? Do you guys, are you guys aware of that stuff?
Very aware. But I'm glad you brought in football because like that's where that comes from, especially being a quarterback. For me growing up, I was a coach's kid.
Yeah.
I was a starting quarterback in high school, kind of thing. Like went to a smaller school in Texas rather than what you see on TV from the Texas high schools. But I was the coach's kid, so I always had to keep a level-headed. Like both my parents were on campus with me at all times. So competition, that's where I learned that. In football taught me my level-headedness and just being the quarterback. Especially, I had to start as a freshman at quarterback at Southwestern because of injuries. I didn't even get recruited as a quarterback there. They just knew I played in high school. So
wow,
yeah. I would like to say that football taught me pretty much everything I know about competing. Wow. If I'm being so honest. So
hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think it's huge for the young guys to play as many sports as they can. I'm interested to hear kind of your story, because the world we live in now, JJ, like it's you hear about transfer portal all the time. Guys going year to year. I mean, this is your second year at K-State. When you were done at Southwestern, you knew you had 2 years left, and you're like, hey, talk me through how you make a decision and how you even get noticed by Kansas State.
Okay, so my going into my senior season of Southwestern, the summer before then, I played in the Texas Collegiate League, summer ball league. So I loved that league. I played for the Victoria Generals. Shout out the Victoria Generals. Love that team. Love those coaches. And I did well that summer, and I had a lot of colleges asking if I was willing to transfer out of Southwestern to like try to make the jump to D1 that year. And
tampering.
Do what?
Tampering.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, it was like my coach at Victoria was like, hey, you should probably try to get into the portal. And I was like, I've been there for 3 years. I deserve it. I deserve those coaches to graduate from there. And I wanted to go play my last season there. And then, the summer after my senior year, I went and played the Victoria Generals also. But my coach at Southwestern actually played for Coach Hughes. And when Coach Hughes was at Trinity. And so
Coach Hughes was at Trinity in San Antonio?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was the head coach at Trinity for, I couldn't tell you how long or how long ago.
All right.
He got in contact with my coach at Southwestern and started recruiting me from there. I was already in the portal by my senior season. So I was able to talk to coaches during my season, which was kind of frustrating a little bit because I was trying to get recruited, but I'm also focusing on trying to take the team to a championship.
Yeah.
And then, so that was the summer ball was a big part of me being recruited, but also, my coach at Southwestern, Coach Bunch, he helped me a lot. I just texted him earlier today, just talking to him about the weekend and stuff like that. So that guy, I owe that guy a lot. So
Coach Bunch, man. Hey, baseball forward. My partner and I, Jim Schwanke, former LSU guy, we were watching the game together actually. But man, baseball forward, it's about passing the game on to the next generation. And like Coach Bunch, like you affected this young man on the screen so much. And that's what's beautiful about this game. So JJ, what I want to know for you right now is like, do you feel like you're almost like living a dream? It's like, because, and I think a lot of people miss, I did. I that's probably you. I'm 45 now. I think one of my biggest regrets when I look back, and I love my life. Don't get me wrong, but I wish I would have been able to stop and just say, "Oh, this is amazing," because it is. So I'm asking JJ Slack, number 99. We'll get into that later. Do you stop and smell the roses, man?
Before every inning.
Oh.
Before every inning. And that goes back to Coach Bunch, actually. Because when I got recruited here and when I got told, I'm going to start throwing pretty much, I kind of got the hint that I was going to start throwing every weekend kind of thing. I would talk to Coach Bunch every week. And he'd always tell me, just, take a second, look around. You're pitching for Kansas State in the Big 12 in Division I baseball.
Yeah.
And so anybody that's ever seen me play, seen me pitch, I go to the back of the mound before every inning, and I say a little prayer that I've said in every game I've ever played. And I kind of, right before I start my prayer, you'll see me, I look around, look at the guys in the outfield, look around in the stands a little bit, and I'm like, I'm pitching for the Kansas State Wildcats.
Man.
Big 12, Division I. And then I get into my prayer, and then I say, let's go, and slap my glove, turn around real fast, get to work.
If it was me, I'd be like, ball one, dang it. Hey, and I want to say this, like these old jerseys that we had back in the day, the threads you guys are wearing these days, I'm just like, man, what a day to be a Wildcat. Those purple uniforms that you guys are, the jerseys, I freaking love those things. So I'm really happy to hear that you stop and smell the roses because it is important. And I think anybody that's listening to this, anybody that's a fan of baseball, man, it goes by quick. So I want to know this. Like, aspirations, man. You got a live arm. You've got I think I saw you up to 94 yesterday. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say anything, but like, what are your goals with baseball? I mean, what's next for JJ Slack? What are you hoping for?
I mean, it's like with anything, you're gonna do anything, you better do it right, and that's how I've been taught that growing up from my parents, from everybody I've been around, and so yeah, I'm gonna take baseball as far as I can, and like, I'm gonna do what with what. Oh gosh, I'm gonna do with what I can.
Yep.
And so, as long as I can throw a baseball, I'll throw a baseball and take that as far as I can. And if this is the last year for me, this is the last year for me. I'll move on. But if I get the opportunity, that's the goal. I mean, I'm not playing just to play in college, just to say I play in college. I want to play to try to be the best. And so that's how I try to live it. That's how I try to practice it, do every day with it.
It's noticeable, man. And like, as a former player too, like you see it in the guys that you think, like, as a teammate, I would trust you. And I think that matters because there's some teammates that you can't trust. My sons are a fan of you because of how you carry yourself. When did you realize, like what age did you realize this is a little bit different? Like, I think maybe I have something here, because you were a football guy and you were a quarterback, heck of an athlete. I mean, the guy does backflips, but was there a time where you're like, man, I think I might be a little bit better than everybody around me?
Yeah. So that summer before my senior year of college, actually.
Wow.
And it was just because I went to that summer ball league and I was the only Division III guy. I think I was one of 4 in the league. Everybody else was either D1 or JUCO, and I pitched very well that summer. And I was like, okay, well, I might be able to take this somewhere. And that's where I had to talk when I got back to Southwestern. I was like, hey, coach, like, it's not going to hurt nothing if I get in the portal. Like, I'm not trying to leave early or anything. So, like, just want to put my name out there, see what happens, see if I get any calls, kind of thing. And that I didn't play my senior year of football because of that. Because I decided, like, so football has always been my first love. I love football more than I love baseball, and I still do to this day. I'm not going to lie. But that year, I decided to go all in on baseball and see how good I can progress myself and see what would happen if I went all in on the baseball. Because for me, up until that point, baseball was second. I was focused on football only, and then when baseball came around, okay, now we do baseball. And even in the summer, I was training for football. I'd keep my arm loose, playing pickup tournaments here and there, but I was get ready for football season come August. And that year was the first year I went all in on baseball, and it showed. That was the best year of my 4 years at Southwestern.
Wow.
And then I got the opportunity to get the call from Coach Hughes a couple of times and get recruited by them. And as soon as I came up on a visit here in Manhattan, I literally left. I told the coaches, I said, hey, all right, well, I'm going to go back to Texas, talk to my family about it, kind of thing. And as we were driving off, my sister and my brother-in-law were with me when I went. And I told him, I was like, hey, turn around. I'm like, what? I was like, we got to go back. They're like, did you forget something? I'm like, yeah, I forgot to tell them that I'm coming here.
Wow.
I couldn't picture myself playing anywhere. And as soon as I got here, it showed. Like, I could not picture playing anywhere else but other than with Coach Hughes, Coach Darrow. I love this place. And
man, I had talking with JJ Slack of K-State on the Baseball Forward podcast today. I got to say that, JJ, just so everybody knows who we're dealing with if they're not watching it. I talked with a guy the other day. I can't remember. I'm going to try to remember this conversation, but this is what it was. Walking into my son's elementary school, and we get out of my truck and going to like donuts with dads or parents or whatever. And it was like on Friday, and I see a little dude come out of his car in front of us, and he's got a K-State shirt on, so sweatshirt on. So I went and dapped him up and started talking to the dad, and the dad was a K-State alum, and we talked very briefly. And the word that he used with minimal questions was, when I was in Manhattan, I felt like I was a part of a family And he goes, I've been to all these other places, but Manhattan, Kansas State is different. Dude, it gives me goosebumps. I experienced the same feelings. Like, wow, that it's a college town. It is so, like, it's almost overwhelming. You're like, dang, this is legit. So family, is that what you feel?
Absolutely, 100%. And yeah, there's no other word to put it. Like it is a family. Everything we do. I know if I was ever in trouble and I needed to make a phone call, I could call Coach Hughes and it didn't matter. Well,
Wow.
what happened? He'll figure it out later. He's going to help me do what's best for me. That doesn't matter what happened, what's going to happen. He's going to help me out. And that's every coach on our staff. That is everybody in our clubhouse, and that is everybody on our roster. You can call anybody at any time. It doesn't matter. We'll ask questions later. We're here to help you.
Love it.
And you don't get that. You don't get that at all places.
No, you don't.
And that comes with family.
Talking with JJ Slack on the Baseball Forward podcast. JJ, just a couple more questions, man. I know it's 4:55 Central Time Zone. We need to get you to bed by 6 because you're pitching tomorrow. Baseball Forward, elevating the next generation, man. It matters to me that the game is passed on the right way, and because it's such a beautiful game, man, you know that. So elevating the next generation is our MO. So when I say like the high school, the baseball players that are not, the youth baseball players out there, what advice do you have for those kids as it relates to baseball? And like, what advice do you have to elevate the next generation?
Enjoy your wins.
Mm.
Enjoy your wins. And that's not just winning the game. It's not just, winning tournaments, winning baseball games. It's enjoy the little wins because this game will break you down.
Mm.
It's a game of failure. And so anytime you win something, you have to enjoy it. Like you win a pitch. I start 0-1. Let's go. Okay. Win the next one. And that's what we get taught here every day is you want to win the next pitch, win this pitch every time.
Wow.
You're not looking forward. You're winning this pitch. And that's, you got to enjoy your wins when you get them because they're hard to come by.
Yes, sir. That's simple and like probably one of the most underrated things to do because you take it for granted. You take strike one for granted sometimes until you're 1-0 and you're like, dang, man, that sucks. Okay, so for the the coaches that were the best influences, because there will be parents out here that listen to this, and we as parents can make a lot of hopefully healthy decisions for our kids based on what we hear from guys that have the experience. So from your experience, just in sports in general, when I say the best coaches, the guys that impacted you the most, the women that impact whoever, when I say who impacted you the most as coaches, what comes to mind?
Love.
Love.
Love. And that's not, like just absolutely being on, like telling you how good you are all the time kind of thing. It's telling you when you suck.
Yeah,
it is. It's being able to get on you, but know that as soon as you do something good, I'm going to be the first one to pick you up also because you care. And
that's right.
Our coaching staff here at K-State is a very good example of that. I learned that from early on from my father. My dad coached me in football and in basketball in high school. And if you'd asked anybody, if you'd have watched any time I was playing and he was coaching, you didn't think we'd like each other. But he also was the first one to let me know when I did good also, and that he was proud of me and everything. And I was lucky enough to follow that to Southwestern with Coach Bunch and Scott Lacey, who's a pitching coach there. Same thing. If I did something bad, they let me know.
Yeah.
But as soon as I did something good, they were also the first ones to let me know.
I like that.
And just having a coach that cares and it is out there with you. And so does, in Coach Darrow's terms, he emphasizes that he is out there with us every single pitch. It's not him in the dugout. You got to picture Coach D is sitting right behind you. He's out there with you behind every pitch. And having a coach that cares, it takes a long way to go because it gives you that confidence, that edge that you're like, okay, he's got my back.
Yeah.
He cares. He loves me. And it makes you want to play for them that much harder.
I love hearing that because I think of any negative experience that I had with coaches and it was you felt a sense of like rejection. If I fail, I'm done. And young men, women, they don't want to deal. You don't like. I don't want to be rejected if I fail. I want to learn through my failure. Is that kind of what you think?
Yeah, 100%. So it was. They got on me every time I did something wrong, but it was never just get on me just because you did something wrong or you messed up. It was, here's what you did wrong. Here's how we're going to fix it.
Love it.
There was always a solution to the problem. It wasn't just hear the problem and then walk away kind of thing. It was, okay, here's what happened. You messed up. You suck today. But here's why. Here's what you're going to do to fix it. And then here's what we're going to do next time.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
That's the biggest thing is always having a plan when things go wrong. And coaches love that.
Man, really, really good stuff. I got two more. I want to hear, because I think what you're going to say, like I see it in your eyes, like the mentality that you have out on the mound. Like when you are out on the mound, like, hey, if I just say in general, my pitching philosophy, strike one, pitch to contact, on or out in 3. Okay. When JJ Slack is out on the mound for Kansas State, what is your pitching philosophy?
It's a good question. I'm cocky. I'm the biggest dude on the planet. That's in my head. I'm better than you. I don't care who you are. Barry Bonds steps up to the plate. Yeah, I'm gonna strike you out in 3, and here's a fastball. Just go with it, kind of thing. Like I said, you got to have that cockiness. You got to have that stink in your neck, like you said.
Yeah.
But you also got to be humble. And when stuff doesn't go your way, be able to roll with the punches, because things are gonna go your way, but things are gonna go the other way a lot more than they will your way. So you gotta be able to take the goods and the bads, right? And really the uglies. You gotta take those too. And like, think you're the baddest dude on the planet, no matter what. This guy just hit a double off me. Okay, so what? Here's about to be 3 punch outs.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I've always went about everything.
That's why all those Pi Phis at K-State love JJ. I don't know that. I was just assuming. Last question for you, JJ. I want to have some fun with this because you're a young man. Music, man. I want to know what you listen to. So if you're going to listen to music tomorrow when you're rolling up to Omaha, what are you listening to? What kind of music are you listening to?
All right. So I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for it, but I like to listen to sad country music before I do.
Really? What?
Yeah, so for me personally, I get amped up really easily. Like it's very easy for me to flip that switch and I can just go crazy, right? So I found this in football. Like when I was playing, like I was a madman, like, and I was carrying like I was a madman before the game even started. Like I was tired, like during the game, and so I found out that like before the game, I'd listen to some sad country music, kind of depressing music, and like try to
give me like an example, like an artist. Are we talking like George Strait?
Oh yeah, I love George Strait.
Still, Meet Me in Cheyenne or whatever. Whatever. Give me some examples.
So like Sam Barber right now is a good one. I like Gavin Adcock. Okay. He's more of like a rock country, like Parker McCollum, Co Wetzel. One of my friends I actually graduated high school with, Jacob Stelly. Wow. I like his music. I listen to his music before games all the time. It's also cooler because like I know who the guy is writing and everything. But,
sure.
George Strait, obviously some Muscadine Bloodline, Treaty Oak Revival.
Wow.
Those guys. So like that and then probably right before I start playing catch, I get some Kid Rock.
Oh wow.
Some Big X the Plug, some upbeat stuff so I can start getting the mind to like get itself amped up.
Oh man.
I got variety, but yeah, the most I listen to is sad country.
What's the walkout song? I mean, if you're pitching and you come, what's the walkout song?
Cowboy, Kid Rock.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Starts off with the old cowboy.
Yeah, dude. I like that. Hey, I like that. I like that. Hey, mine was Pink Floyd Money, baby.
Hey.
I'm so thankful for you, man. Like, you're a young man, but like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you got a good head on your shoulders, and I hope you get. I think you already have had a ton of success, but man, I hope you get everything you want out of baseball because you deserve it, because you love the game, you play hard, and you're doing it right. And for all the guys listen, or all the people listen out here, the way this man conducts himself around kids, in the fans, signing all the autographs, I tip my cap to you, my friend. So JJ, that said, I want to give us a final happy word, and then I'll take us out.
Nothing to say. Thank you for having me on here, and it was a pleasure. I had a blast. This is awesome. And go Cats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. JJ Slack, number 99. Thankful for you. Proud of you. Go Cats. Baseball Forward Podcast, episode 48. We'll see you later.